As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left. Cause I've been blasting and laughing so long that even my mama thinks that my mind...
Thank you very much for joining us today. Video 12 is tax delays and lies. The first document you can see here is dated the 13th of June 1994. It's a letter from the lawyers who represent the trust company in the other offshore islands that holds my grandfather's estate or trust. I'll read you the first few sentences. It says, without going into the background in too much detail, you are aware of the existence of a trust, the trustees of which are my client's trust company limited. This trust was set up for the benefit of the family of the late Mr. James William Durrant, deceased. So I've got letters, or my family have historical letters going back to the 70s that prove the Emerald Trust in this other offshore island was set up for the benefit of Mr. Durrant's children, which is not unusual. Most people set up trusts for the benefit of their children. On the next page you'll see here, it's just continuation of that letter. The lawyers who represent the trust service providing company in that other offshore island are trying to get my family to sign an indemnity. They're trying to basically say they've done nothing wrong. At this stage they've already stolen the majority of the assets. So on the next page now we'll see it's a letter from my family's lawyers coming over to us and asking us to sign a consent form. That's in relation to tax. Now on the next page here you'll see this is in relation to the Emerald Trust, and that's the one that's held in the other offshore island. We're waiting for an order in the court to pay the Inland Revenue millions of pounds because of my grandfather's tax positions when he was murdered. On the next page you'll see here again they refer to the Emerald Trust, and they're talking about the nature of the hearing. We were informed by our trustee it was going to be a simple matter to pay the Inland Revenue. What the trustee did is he delayed on purpose the payment to the Inland Revenue to obtain a financial advantage by deception. He had the planning permission with his colleagues from his Pacific offshore island to build the shopping centre with my family's planning permission and the deeds. We owned the land. So this man is obtaining a financial advantage by delaying paying the Inland Revenue. On the next page here, you can see the lawyers who actually represent my other bloodline are saying that the information is not consistent with what we've received from the trustee. On the next page here, you can see here that my uncles are writing to confirm that our clients have consented to the settlement with the Inland Revenue. So you can see the date of the letter there was the 6th of January 1995. Now on the next letter here, this is actually the lawyers from the other offshore island that represent the trust service provider for my grandfather's estate, the Emerald Trust. They're becoming somewhat frustrated at the lack of progress resolving this matter. And it's all to do with the trustee just delaying things. So on the next page here you'll see again it's the lawyers who represent the trust service provider in the other offshore islands. Again, whilst my client trustees are also eager to bring this matter to a reasonable speedy conclusion, as you will recall, it does involve the agreement and participation of your client's brothers, and in particular the trustee and his colleagues as executors of your client's estates. So until the trustee makes further progress, there is going to be a continuing delay. My client trust company are doing all they can to push the trustee. Now you can also see there they mention they're frustrated and really want this matter to be resolved. That's in 1995. So over on the next page here, this is my family's lawyer writing to my father, saying he's just fed up with the delay and he wants clarity on exactly what's happening with the revenue. This is a letter that my family's lawyer has written to the Inland Revenue. special complaints office, why it's taken years to pay the tax bill when the money was readily available to pay any liabilities. Again, on the next page here, you can see one of the tricks they do is they change their lawyer at the last minute for whatever reasons, just to delay things. So it's just standard little tricks. On the next page here, you'll see that all of the lawyers are getting very concerned and want to clarify what is holding up the estate of Mrs. Durrant, and in particular what is happening with the settlement with the revenue. Obviously, all these years later, I've figured out what they did, and they obtained a financial advantage by delaying paying the taxman to borrow money from the banks to build the shopping centre. On the next page here, you will see they're questioning who has signed these consent forms or not, and he plays a game with the family and makes out one of the beneficiaries wouldn't agree to pay the tax. We all communicate via our lawyers and find out that that's just complete lies. You can see at the bottom, again, it's an extraordinary delay, which continues in dealing with the administration of the estate of Mrs. Durrant. On the last page, you can see here just a bit of comedy. The person from the Inland Revenue, his name was Mr. Ransom. He's getting very upset now that the tax hasn't been paid, and he's threatening to tear up the agreement. So yes, that's just some examples of tax delays and lies. I could do hundreds of videos on this, but there's a small example. Thanks very much for listening. Bye-bye.